We're here at the Ahwatukee Car Show, Hope for the Homeless, here in Ahwatukee, Arizona. And I have Floyd and I have Dick here in Corvette lovers, so that's pretty cool. But we were just having a conversation what it is to be kind. Floyd is actually a retired cop, so he has a whole different perspective than what I would have. What is your perspective as far as how can we be kind in this crazy world we live in?
Well, something that my grandfather instilled in me, and it's very simple. You treat people the way you would want to be treated in whatever situation, right? We're all human. We all make bad choices at times. It doesn't make us a bad person. It's just we made the wrong choice.
Right.
So, I was 28 years in law enforcement, and what I learned is just because I had a uniform on and a badge, it doesn't make people respect you. Respect has to be earned.
Right.
And younger children, I've been in houses before where like a toddler would come up to me and want to play with my handcuffs or point at the belt, and their parent grab them and snatch them away and say, "Hey, he's the police. He'll put you in jail." And it upset me, and I have to tell them, a polite way. No, I won't. I'm here to help you.
Right.
But you got to deal with some people that just because you are a police officer or whatever, then they want people afraid of you. They bring these kids up. They don't respect adults. They don't respect the teachers. It's just a different upbringing. And, we're all in the same boat. We're all here. We're all just trying to make it.
One day at a time, right?
Yeah.
And if they don't raise them up to respect, you may put them in jail, but it's going to be a decision that they made.
Correct.
And that's what they need to be teaching their kids is, no, he's here to help us if somebody does something wrong. Don't do anything wrong, and we won't put you in jail.
Exactly.
It's got to be a tough perspective when you're seeing the parents try to train those kids that way.
It hurts to see that.
Because you're an employee of the city, the citizens. You're there to help them and serve the citizens, right?
Right. I'm there for them.
And then so many people get that backwards.
And one of the things I learned, it's so easy to be nice. There were times I wasn't nice. I couldn't be nice. And what I would tell people, I will treat you as good as you will let me.
Right.
And it's so much easier to start out being kind and being nice. And then if you have to escalate to something different, then you do. But, it's just, I was no better than anybody that I went out to see. And it is different nowadays. When I grew up, we never locked our doors.
Yeah.
And if one of our neighbors told me something to do so, I did it.
Right.
Because I respected them.
Right.
And we've kind of lost touch with that. But,
Totally.
people just need to realize that everybody needs help sometime. At one point
And
in
it's
time,
okay to ask for help.
Absolutely. Help each other. Be nice to each other. I had a situation where I was driving the car and there was a guy with me, happened to be from New York, and I waved at somebody in their driveway. He said, "Do you know them?" I said, "No." "Well, why'd you wave?" I said, "That's just how I am, I try to be nice to everybody.
Right.
Not just somebody that I know.
Right.
So that's just my perspective.
No, I appreciate that. Dick, do you have anything to add that would, on your perspective, as far as how we can be kind and what you grew up with and what the difference is today?
Well, my growing up, I'm 81 years old, so it was a while ago.
Okay.
But I grew up with, I come from a family of 8 boys. I'm number 3.
8 boys,
and I
wow,
have
big
5
family.
younger brothers. And I remember when we were kids and we would ride our bicycle to the movie, see the matinee. We'd leave our bicycles out front, go in, see a movie, come out, get on our bikes and ride home. You can't do that today.
No.
You can't let kids go out by themselves today. And just like Floyd said, when I grew up, we didn't lock our doors.
Right.
The house was always open. You know, we had people who were comfortable to come into our home, and our parents would look after their kids, and they'd look after us. It's just things were different then. But you know, it's just like smiling. I think it takes more. Someone told me once it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. And when you smile, you get that back again. Kindness is the same way. Just be kind to somebody. Usually, you get that back.
Back in return.
And it sets the table for where we are.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
I remember the bicycle. That was freedom.
Yeah.
I grew up in town, like 5,000 people, and we would, wherever we wound up at lunches, whose house we ate at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then all the parents just took care of your friends, and what was our saying? When the street lights come on, you better be home.
You're absolutely right.
That's how you did it. We didn't have a clock. We certainly didn't have a phone tying us down. And I think that's changed society too.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you're walking in say a shopping mall or a store, and you have to get out of people's way because they're staring at their phone.
Yeah.
I know my posture has changed because my neck is looking down so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so different. But I appreciate y'all talking to us, and like I said, it's just about having a conversation.
Oh yeah.
So,
I love it. We need more of it.
yeah.
And it's interesting what you're saying about looking down with the phones. Look, everybody's got a phone.
Yeah.
You know, I go back. I was in sales all my career, and you used to know had to know where the closest phone booth was to call your orders in. Then they came out with a beeper. The beeper tells you to call the office.
All right.
And then they come out with a phone. I worked for a guy who had a cell phone that was hardwired into his car.
Oh.
One of the early ones.
Right.
We drive through Los Angeles. It was all open lines. You could listen to anybody talking.
Oh, goodness.
And now look where we are.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But the world has changed with communication, no doubt about that.
Yeah, with the communication, we weren't tied to our phone because our phone was at our house.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, we weren't.
And-
I mean,
and
when
didn't
the
have
phone rings, when it
computers.
beeps or whatever, we're immediate. And friends and family, a lot of businesses. Why didn't you call me back?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be the next day or 2 days later if I called somebody back in the early days, right?
Oh, yeah.
Your mom would tell you, "Hey, Billy called," or "Well, I'll call him tomorrow." It wasn't a big deal. Now they want instant communication.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I certainly appreciate the perspective, and this is a great community. Cars, you know, we all just love cars.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a great thing what you've done with yours.
Well, we're trying to change people's hearts one person at a time. I don't know how to say it any simpler.
Yeah, we really need it.
It's just a mission I feel like I'm called to do. So.
I think there's a lot of kindness going on here today.
Oh yeah, and it's just because we have the same familiarity with cars.
Yeah, everybody's.
I don't
got a
care what you
common
drive.
interest.
If you drive a Porsche, Volkswagen, Honda, Camaro, whatever, Corvette, doesn't matter. You just like your car.
I don't drive anything. I ride shotgun.
We saw a Pinto on the dyno a while
We
ago.
watched that.
I mean, that's just a car guy.
That's right.
Now, the outside looks like a Pinto, but under that hood was not a Pinto.
Yeah, it wasn't a stock engine.
And you saw how many people came around to watch because we're like, why is that Pinto up there? But it's just the love of cars and the love of people that we do this.
Yeah.
And this time of year in Phoenix, Arizona is the place to be.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
It's a wonderful thing that you do.
well, thank you. We're blessed. I'm truly blessed. And this is Mr. Dalton that he's in charge of doing all this fun stuff. So awesome. His dad is actually the one that wound up, 28 years of experience, that wasn't afraid to take my vision and put it on the car. I went through 4 companies trying to, this is what I want to do. I worked with one for 2 months, and then the guy that was going to print it and design it backed out on me. I'm like, oh, why didn't you tell me 2 months ago?
Well, you know, we just really.
Floyd, I'm taking off,
All
buddy.
right, brother, you take
I'm out to
care.
lunch. How you doing,
Hey,
bro?
how you doing?
Guys have a good day.
You too. Yeah, but it doesn't take any more effort to be kind.
It's a decision.
It comes back
It's a
tenfold.
decision.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard, but man, some people.
You know, I used to tell the young officers, it's carrying groceries in, changing tires.
Yeah.
That to me was
And that's what the
just as
community
rewarding.
sees, and that's what the community tells others.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to be a rock picker and all the time. There's times that you need to do that. But there's also times you need to stop, help somebody carry their groceries in. I've changed a lot of tires.
You're a citizen servant. That's just what it is.
Take care.
I worked in public works my whole career, and that's what it was all about, was serving the public.
Yeah.
Not that I always had a good time listening to people yell at me and tell me what a bad job we did or what we did wrong. Part of my career was in traffic engineering, and that's not my forte, but I had a lot of good people. But man, I had so many people that would call me that thought they were traffic engineers and tell us how our people need to do a better job. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Well,
And when did you go to school for that?
I had a lot of people that said they paid my salary.
Oh, I've heard that too. I said, well, if you want your quarterback, I'll be glad to give it to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, great guys.
Hey.
See, that's simple. See, you did a great job, and you were so worried.
You think we're good?
I wasn't worried.
Yeah, it's all.
Hey,
It's
good,
just about
yeah.
having a conversation.
Yeah.